Hey, good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this August 23rd version of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon. How's it going?
Second Monday.
Yep, it is.
Second Monday.
Yeah. How's everything going? What's up with you?
Just busy. It's time. It's sports time. It's back to, fall sports, and I made a decision like this year. I'm gonna hit every single senior athlete at the high school.
Like
that's gonna be tough.
Like every senior athlete, you're gonna try and interview.
Yep.
Oh, cool. And you've already done a ton of.
Yeah, I have players, right? 20 this week.
Wow.
There's 20 seniors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, very cool.
I think it'll be cool. I think it'll. I don't know. Let's just kick into sports and then I'll tell people about it.
All right.
This is brought to you by the Army National Guard Recruiting and Retention. Sergeant First Class Larry McNeil. If you have any questions about recruiting or retention, give her a call. 541-786-1459. Her email is down there as well. So what I was saying about the whole sports thing, this year I'm going to try to get every LHS senior athlete on. And, I mean, I would love to get some outlying schools as well. But the plan is over the next couple weeks, I'll do basically an interview with each of them, and I'm going to do like little subsections of my show. So I'm not going to run like 2 or 3 interviews in a show. I'm going to put them out by themselves. And so I'll take like a 3 or 4 hour period, and every hour I'll put out an interview each day. And that'll start probably tomorrow. Today on the sports show, it'll be EOU senior men's soccer player Hector Galliana, because they play tonight at 6 o'clock. They open their season at home against Whitman, and right here, Community Stadium, 6 p.m. And then my other guest tonight on the sports show will be EOU volleyball player. She's a junior, Presley Jensen. They went to Montana this last week and beat 2 top 5 teams, and she just had a huge 4 games in a row, actually, where she was just, she's truly stepped up, and it should be a good interview. The other things that are happening is I got in contact with the volleyball coach up at the high school, so she's going to get me her seniors, and then I'm going to try to get soccer too, and track and field, and that should be all the seniors for the high school. And then EOU football kicks off this Saturday, and it's a 6 o'clock game, which is weird because usually they play at 1 o'clock on Saturdays, and they're playing Montana Tech at home, Community Stadium, 6 p.m. That should be awesome. I mean, I'm super excited about it, and I'm ready for fall sports to get underway.
So how did they do against Montana Tech? I'm not familiar with.
They haven't played.
No. Traditionally, what's that matchup like?
They're about equal. I mean, in the coaches poll this year, equal. I think Montana Tech's 5th or 6th, and we're 5th or 6th, one or the other.
Cool.
It should be a good game.
Yeah.
We don't even know who the starting quarterback is for EOU yet, which is kind of weird, but it is what it is. It's the first time there's been a competition for a quarterback in 10 years.
Wow.
So we'll see going into it what happens. I have high expectations. The defense is really good, so we'll see.
Cool.
Yeah, that's sports at a glance this coming week.
All righty. Well, let's look outside. Looks like it's going to be a pretty day. It was really beautiful this morning. I don't know what that means, how it's going to be long term. Let's see what.
Probably hot.
Let's see what Gabe has to say.
Heading into the day on Tuesday, abundantly clear to begin, but then we'll start to see a little bit of clouds the second half of the day, slightly more up towards the north than the south, producing a slight chance to see an isolated sprinkle or storm somewhere across the Wallowas the second half of the day. Otherwise, the remainder of our region will remain dry, keeping those temperatures into the 90s region-wide, an exception for Meacham in Baker, slightly cooler into the mid to the upper 80s. Heading into the day on Tuesday for LeGrand, it looks like this. We'll start out into the lower 60s at the 8 o'clock hour, beginning with a light northwesterly wind flow that slightly increases during the afternoon up to 25-mile-per-hour wind gusts in spots as some scattered clouds roll on in. Heading into my short-term forecast for the Grand Ronde Valley, tracking a high of 90 for Tuesday, drop into the mid-50s overnight. Slightly more cloud cover on Wednesday heightens that chance for those storms into the mountains, bringing a slight chance for that to spill into our valley.
There's that thing again. One day it's mostly sunny, the next day it's partly cloudy. Like, I honestly think that it's probably just the like, it means the same thing, right? It's got to.
Well,
There you go.
maybe
15 and 18.
I saw that. Well, maybe it's kind of like, when it's rather than like the direction of northwest, and then there's a thing that's northwest. It's like it leans just slightly a little bit. So partly sunny it means a little bit more towards sunny then, and it does towards partly cloudy. But yeah, not much difference.
Good morning, Brady. Anchorage, and he's in Alaska today. That's nice. Nice. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll never really understand that, but I'm not a weather person. I think they do it for each other, maybe. They don't do it for us. Because partly cloudy and mostly sunny is the same thing to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I mean, because if you said mostly cloudy, then that would be different than mostly sunny. But if you say mostly cloudy and partly sunny, that's like, I mean, right? I mean,
I don't know, but I think we asked him.
Yeah, we did. I just don't remember his answer.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, hey, I did something cool kind of over the weekend I want to talk about real quick here. Let me pull this up. So I went to this golf tournament at Widgie Creek Golf Club in Bend. And there's this organization that I'm on their board for. It's called Creating Memories. This is the golf course. I'd never been to a major golf course like this. I mean, I'd only been to our local ones, Buffalo Peak and LeGrand Country Club. Anyhow, beautiful, lots of trees, beautiful. And this is kind of the preparation for it. This is me and Jack Burgoyne. Jack Burgoyne is the president of Creating Memories, and I forgot my hat. And so that's this dorky looking thing that I finally somebody saw me with this thing and helped me out. But anyhow, this is cool. Creating Memories is this organization. It's called Creating Memories for Disabled Children. They have a camp up by Wallowa Lake, and it's just a place for families with disabled kids to come. And this little kid was Logan, 2 years old, and they had been to the camp. Very cool. And then this is another family from Baker City who have a disabled kid. Carla is the one with the microphone there, and she's also on our board. Anyhow, cool organization. This is just a baby. They gave these little medals to all of the disabled kids that had showed up to kind of help the golfers understand the meaning of the camp. So anyhow, cool event. And I guess the point is we're trying to maybe consider, they have that really well organized down there in Bend. Problem is Bend is a long ways from where the camp actually is. And so, but it's been a really good fundraiser for them. And so we're kind of talking about seeing if we could have a second one of those golf tournaments here at Buffalo Peak. And I had talked to Dana about it last year. And so anyhow, but if it was here, then a lot of that organization would fall on me. And so I just wanted to, I had never been to a major golf tournament like that. So very fun.
Have fun with that. Golf tournaments are a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, I have a friend who knows about golf. A
lot of work.
Yeah, and he works with me, so I thought maybe he might help me too, but we'll see.
But yeah, we found out that golf tournaments, they're a lot of work. Just there's so much that goes into it.
Well, and that was, I didn't know, and this gal Veronica is the one who's put this one together, and and she kind of showed me all of the different stuff that they were doing, and she said, "Well, what do you think?" And I said, "I'm thinking I really want you to come to Grand Round Valley and help me put this together." At least get it started, so that there's because yeah, you got the sponsors, you got a silent auction, and then all of the holes have to be marked and labeled, at least at this one. I don't know how they are normally, and with the sponsor information, and yeah, it's, man, what a
I
time.
mean, the one of the hardest parts is finding a weekend to fit it in.
Yeah.
Because of, I mean, there's only just one Buffalo Peak, and there's a lot of tournaments and a lot of things going on, and it's just finding a time to do it is the hardest part, I think.
When they do tournaments out at Buffalo Peak, do they get the whole course? Do they close the course to other people?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's usually a shotgun start, and if there's 18 teams, one team starts on each hole.
Mm-hmm.
And then if there's more than that, then you'll have two on each hole. And then, the course is usually closed to the public until like later, like till towards the end of the tournament or something, or after the tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot that goes into it.
I know. So did they have, with this tournament, they had like these little portable bars that were set up on 3 holes.
Yeah, you aren't going to get that out of Buffalo.
I was wondering if they don't do that out there.
No, you can go into the pro shop and buy some beers and get a little bag. They don't have cart service.
Yeah.
Bigger golf courses have that. Or they have a person that drives around with a golf cart full of beer.
And this wasn't this was part of the golf tournament. So this wasn't the shop itself. They had organized it so that there were.
You might be able to do that.
Yeah,
out there.
I don't know how. But it was like I was trying to figure out how to, how you staff all of that in Bend. You've got a bigger population base, and they're all connected and hooked up. And anyhow,
yeah, that's one of the another hard things is finding volunteers, people to help, and it's just there's just one thing after another when it comes to a golf tournament that I've slowly found out, like with the Doug Trice, like it's like, oh, somebody's got to do this, oh, somebody's got to do that, somebody's got to do this, and then we got to find a weekend to do it, and you know what I mean, we got to find teams, we got to find sponsors, we got to it's just it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Did you know how the sandwich was invented?
No, I have no idea.
It was invented in the 1700s by the Earl of Sandwich. Seriously.
I think I'd heard this, but I still am not understanding what that means.
John Montagu didn't want to get up while he was gambling, so he made sandwiches, and then he didn't have to get up for food. That's how the sandwich was invented.
But what was his last name? Sandwich?
No, he was the Earl of Sandwich.
I know, but
his last name was Montague.
I know, but what is the Earl of Sandwich? Is that
the Earl is probably a place? I mean, usually the Earl
it's
usually a place, right? Yeah. So
right. Okay. And so then, that's interesting. So
the Earl of the Duke of Earl or whatever.
Right.
It's usually a place, I think.
No, that's interesting.
Maybe there's a place called Sandwich in England or somewhere.
I know. So while I'm thinking about also today at 4:30 is Remax Real Estate's their 20th anniversary downtown. We're going to be doing I'm going to be doing a little live broadcast at the beginning of that. So be sure and take that in. Appreciate them being a loyal sponsor on the AM show with us, doing that. So
what do Miss Piggy and Yoda have in common?
I don't know. They're short.
No. They're both voiced by the same person.
Really?
Yeah. Frank Oz.
That makes sense. What's your name? Frank Oz?
Yep.
Huh. I've heard that name before.
What's the most deadly animal in the world?
I don't know.
Mosquitoes.
Black mamba.
Mosquitoes. They kill more people than any other creature.
from malaria and
Yeah,
from
just all
West
a
Nile
bunch of
virus.
different diseases.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a whole bunch.
yeah.
They're the most deadly. Would you rather have more time or more money, BC?
Well, I don't know. Since I'm kind of toward the, coming toward the end of my time, I probably would say more time, but I
I'd
don't
take
know.
money. I'd take money.
But
No,
yeah.
not like more time to live. More time, like more time, like more free time, like time.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, okay. In that case, I'd take more money.
yeah, because money buys time.
Yeah.
If you don't have to work, then you don't have to give up. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
People say like, "Oh, money doesn't buy happiness." That is a crock of crap. If you had enough money to where you didn't have to work and you could go travel all over the world, you'd probably be pretty dang happy,
Yeah.
right?
You know what? It's funny though, because and Tanya and I were talking about this quite a bit, and that is that regardless of how much money you have, you your expenses kind of rise to the amount of money that you're making. And so there you always is like, well, if I just had a little more, I would, So I don't know. It'd be a nice problem to have, wouldn't it?
No, if I could just have a little chunk of change to put in the bank and enough to live on, I
Yeah.
would travel all over the place. I'd get a boat and live in the ocean all by myself.
Would you?
Yeah.
Where would you
Yeah.
travel? Where would you travel to?
Fish, I would go Australia first.
Really?
Yeah, fishing on the Great Barrier Reef. Yes.
Is fishing something you really like to do?
In the ocean.
Right. Have you ever done that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
California, Oregon,
Yeah. Yeah.
tuna. Yeah. I love it.
I've
Grabbing.
never done that.
Yes,
And
it's so exhilarating.
and that probably would be fun. I mean, I went crabbing one time, a long time ago.
In the bay, probably. Yeah.
Yep.
I had a friend who had a boat, so we used to go out.
He said, yeah, he gives it, which is illegal. I think he meant on the Great Barrier Reef. You can't fish on.
Well, not on the reef, but
Oh, yeah.
inside the reef.
Yeah.
It's not illegal inside, I don't think. I see people fishing off the coast of Australia all the time, and it's got to be close to the Great Barrier Reef.
No, the Great Barrier Reef is up by Brisbane. It's just in one particular area.
Oh, well, wherever. Just Australia. I follow a couple dudes on YouTube that make awesome videos fishing in Australia.
Yeah.
So that would be
the thing I would like about fishing on the ocean is the lack of mosquitoes. I mean, I grew up fishing.
The only thing you would like about fishing on the ocean?
No, well, I don't know. I mean, one of the reasons I don't like fishing, like in our areas, is because mosquitoes just love me. I get eaten to death,
That's weird. I've mosquitoes love me too, and I don't ever remember having problems getting bit by mosquitoes while fishing.
And you've never
I used to fish around here all the time when I was a kid.
See, I mean, one of my favorite kind of fishing is like small creek fishing, or not, I mean, where you're just, it's a small body of water that pools in places, and you fly fishing. That's a lot of fun. It's a lot like hunting, but man, mosquitoes just like eat me up.
I won't eat landlocked fish.
Nope. So like trout? No.
Out of Morgan Lake? No. Like
no,
out of a lake?
but like brookie trout.
Oh yeah, I mean,
brookie's that's some of the best fishing that there is. Some of the best fish.
Trout? Ew.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Maybe my palate has changed over the years, but
trout's like the worst fish to me. Oh. It's ugh. Oh, salmon's good, but trout, have you ever had kokanee? Have you ever had the smoked kokanee?
Oh yeah.
We used to kokanee fish all the time. Green Peter over on the west side, and that's about the only landlocked fish I'll eat. And it's like a salmon. It goes up the creek and spawns. It's just like it is a salmon. It's a landlocked salmon. And that's about the only landlocked fish I'll eat, and I'll only eat it if it's smoked. I don't mess around with none of these like lake trouts, especially one time I caught a fish up at Morgan Lake.
Yeah.
And I swear it was like radioactive. Like there was something wrong with this thing. It really was. And then you get to, if you're fishing later in the summer, you get those the hatchery fish, and they all get real soft and mushy, and oh no. You would eat that? You'd eat it you'd go fishing up at Morgan Lake and
August
and catch yourself a trout?
Like I said, fishing. I mean, and it's been years since I've done this, but I used to really enjoy fishing on some kind of a creek that's flowing out of a mountain, and it pools here and there, and then you fish those pools with flies. That's a lot of fun, and they're really good tasting. So.
Yeah, I just never been a fan of the trout taste, and the fact that all the little bones trout. I mean, it's so hard. Like,
yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a hassle, and then for what you're getting out of it, I'd much rather go out on the ocean and catch cabazon or a lingcod.
Well, I think that would be the preference of a lot of people, but I didn't see the ocean till I was probably 15.
Right.
First time. Yeah.
The
let alone
lingcod,
fishing it.
There's a couple charters on the Oregon coast where the guys on the boat actually you eat the lingcod cheeks raw. Yeah, I've eaten lingcod cheek raw. It's actually not bad. The cheek is the best part of the lingcod. It's like gold. I mean, it really is like most animals. I mean, if you've ever had like cachetes, which is like cheek, beef, they make tacos. It's pretty popular in Mexican food. It's the most tender, best part of an animal. I mean,
interesting.
Cheeks. Well, if you think about it, that muscle's used a lot.
That muscle is used
by a cow. I mean, they chew their cud all day.
Right.
So yeah, that and the tuna, man, fresh tuna, that's hard to beat.
So what's the strangest food you've ever eaten?
Oh gosh, nutria.
What is nutria?
It's a big ass rat. Water rat.
Rat? Really?
It's a water rat. It's an invasive species. They're mainly on the west side of the state. Here, I'll get a picture of one so I can show you. Yeah. You don't know what a nutria is, BC?
No, I've never heard of it.
Really?
So
I'll pull in a picture and real fast.
I think I had a rattlesnake one time, or I'm sure it was rattlesnake. Yeah. And that was kind of unique. It was very wild tasting. I remember it had a very, strong.
Nutria tastes like disgusting pond water.
Well,
greasy, gamey pond water.
Ooh. Yeah.
It's really bad.
So then how did you eat it? How was it cooked?
It was cooked in spaghetti, but I tried it by itself. That's a nutria right there. That is a nasty. Oh God. Oh, I don't even like looking at them.
I wonder how did it get here? An invasive species. Where was it from originally?
Let's see. Let's look real fast. That's a good question. National Invasive Species Information Center, South America.
Huh.
Yeah, it's like the capybara but smaller. It's called a koipu rat, a nutria rat, or a swamp beaver. Yeah, it first established its population in the U.S. in the 1930s. The problem is it just destroys water habitats. Just absolutely destroys ponds, lakes.
Like, does it eat fish species?
It eats vegetation in it.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, they're nasty, man. Oh, and they are part of the rodent family. They're gross. And don't, unless you're starving, I would recommend not trying it.
Well, I'm trying to think of the situation where you had somebody was cooking that. Was that a a family and they just ate it?
No, we hunted them on my ex's parents' property. They have a big farm
Right.
and a lake, and we would hunt them. And her brother skinned one out, and we tried it.
In spaghetti.
Yeah, and by itself too. It's disgusting.
No way.
Even in the spaghetti, you couldn't even cover it with the. It was that bad.
Yeah. See, I mean, in Wyoming, we had prairie dogs that we would shoot. And the reason they were not good is because they would dig holes and livestock could step in them and break their ankles and feet and stuff. And so, but never in a million years did it ever cross my mind to like, oh, we should skin one of those and take it home and put it in spaghetti. So, yeah.
Have you ever tried pigeon?
Nope.
I've tried pigeon too.
Yeah.
It's not horrible.
Yeah.
I tried it because my grandfather, we went to a restaurant down in California. My grandpa grew up on it. They were poor, so they ate a lot of squaw in Illinois. And my grandpa got it and had us try it, and it wasn't horrible.
I was watching one of those shows the other day. You know, there's a survival show where one of the guys is a Navy SEAL and the other one goes barefoot. I don't know if you've seen these two guys together. So one of them is kind of a hippy dippy dude and he goes bare. I mean, so he's like in the middle of the snow and all he has on this case is a pair of socks. But anyhow,
that might be a little cold.
Yeah, they were. Anyhow, they were eating mice, and it's like how much meat would be on a mouse? I mean,
well, I mean, if you're starving and that's all you can find,
yeah.
I mean, if you can't, I mean, I would eat it if I was starving.
Well, you know how these shows are. They're not really starving. They're kind of demonstrating what you would do if you were starving. You know.
Yeah.
There's a camera crew following them around.
They get paid for the shock and awe factor, though.
Right.
So
yeah.
If they said I'm going to pay you $30,000 to do a show and eat a mouse, guess what?
Yeah.
I'm eating a mouse.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I don't know if there's much that I wouldn't eat for the money that they probably make.
Yeah. Those shows are kind of interesting, like Survivor, for instance. I know.
Never watched it.
Well, not Survivor, but those Survivor type store, series where people are they're having to live off the land or they're having to find food or whatever it might be. And just over the hill, there's an entire complex of production vehicles. And those people are, they're eating like a production crew. And so it's just, that's always a little interesting.
Never really. I mean, there's guys on YouTube that do it for real.
Yeah.
Like, that don't have a crew, that have, their little, what are those cameras called?
Yeah.
GoPros.
GoPro, yeah.
And they go out and do it like for real.
Right. And I watched the production of one of those guys, and he has lots of footage of him walking up a trail, clear out of sight. Well, the reality is that once he gets out of sight, he's got to turn around, go back
and get his camera. Yeah.
Get his camera. Yeah. Yep. And so all of the, so he's walking all of that distance a lot of the time.
A couple times. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very common for like solo YouTubers.
Yeah.
That's the guy that I watched from Australia, Brody Moss. He does a lot of solo stuff, and the camera is constantly on the ground on a little tripod or, clipped on the front of the boat or, and he's running with the dog or doing whatever. Yeah. That's crazy. Would you rather experience the world beginning or the world ending? Like, would you rather been there when the world began or when it ended?
I think when it began, that'd be interesting.
I think it'd be kind of cool when it ends.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. That's for sure.
I think everybody's in denial about the ending. I certainly am. It's like, the thing about it is you can't do it. It's like when your life ends. You don't have any control over when that is going to be. It might be nice to know. Maybe it's not nice to know. I don't know. So,
I'd rather not know.
Yeah.
I'd rather just Die in my sleep. Don't wake
Just
up
hap-
one day.
Just happened. Yeah.
Yep. Just be gone.
Yeah.
I don't want to burn. I can tell you that. That's the one. I don't want to fall, and I don't want to burn. Those are the two ways I don't want to die. Any other way, get shot, whatever, drown. I just don't want to burn. I don't want to fall.
Huh.
I feel like that would be two miserable ways to die.
Well, certainly burning would be
Oh,
awful, unbelievable.
yeah. I mean, yeah. And then falling, you'd probably have a heart attack while you were falling.
Yeah.
A lot of people do, but
yeah, I know you hear about that. That's true.
But I mean, just falling, no, like if you fell like from like 30,000 feet, right?
Yeah.
There's no way you're surviving that. What's going through your head? You know what I mean? Like, you ain't got a parachute. 30,000 feet, you're not living.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a lot. You have some time.
Have you ever had a near-death experience, or where you thought, "Oh, I don't think I'm going to make it out of this"? Yeah.
Yeah, I almost drowned a couple times, twice in my life.
Yeah. And it's funny. I did too. I mean, I don't know how near death it was, but the same thing. Tanya and I fell off a raft in 2018. Well, we didn't fall off the raft. The raft failed over, and it was funny actually. During it, it was like, could this be? I mean, I was very calm. I was trying to stay alive, but still, and there was this awareness inside of me of like, is this what it likes when it ends? So,
one of mine was a rafting trip too, but I was unconscious, so I don't remember. Yeah, I got knocked out. I hit a rock, like I just wham.
So how did you get out?
I have no idea. I was knocked out.
I know, but did somebody drag you ashore, or
no? I ended up on a rock.
Oh,
yeah.
That's when you woke up. You just like,
yeah. And then I passed out like 3 more times on the way down because we couldn't get off the river because there was nowhere to get out. It was bramble on both sides. I tore my quad completely in half, and I have no idea how I did it. Like it was gnarly. Probably the worst injury I've ever had.
Huh.
And I have no idea. I had water in I was coughing up water, and I didn't have a life jacket on. Wasn't very smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. And then the other time I was in the ocean and got caught in an undertow, and thankfully somehow I got out of it. But it was, that's scary. Getting pulled underwater by something you can't see,
right,
is really freaky.
Did you have a life jacket on then too?
Oh, you don't no. I've never wore a life jacket in the ocean. I grew up, Southern California, in the ocean all the time.
Right.
And no, and just happened to be I was out and just kind of got caught, and it freaked me out bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, I lived. I got out of it somehow. But
wow.
Yeah, I was only like 9 years old, I think, 9 or 10. Yeah. It's freaky, like, because you don't expect it. I mean, it happens, like people talk about undertows, but the weirdest thing is you don't see it. Like I was just swimming along, and all of a sudden I'm underwater. There weren't any waves near me. One had just come over, and I was swimming out. We were just body surfing, and all of a sudden, just it's like a vortex sucks you down. It sucked me. I mean, I probably was in, if I had to guess, 12, 15 feet of water. I mean, I was out there a ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just almost all the way to the bottom.
Huh.
And I was like 100% with it. I opened my eyes under the water, which is in the ocean. That's not real fun. But when you're, when
trying to survive,
yeah, it was weird. It was definitely, it was creepy.
Wow.
I don't wish it on anybody because it's like one of those surreal feelings because you don't see it. Like you don't know what, you know what I mean? You're not thinking,
Yeah.
oh, this is an undertow. You're like, what the, maybe something grabbed me, or you know what I mean? Like, what
Right.
is going on here? And,
Yeah.
and I just popped out and sucked a little water in and made it to the surface and was freaked out and got out.
See, I remember when I was a kid and would start swimming in lakes, and I'm never a very good swimmer, but the idea of being in water that was deep enough, like in a lake, a swimming pool, you know what's down there, but a lake, you have no idea. I mean, so this took me a long time to get used to the fact that I don't know what's down there. It could get me, but oh well. Yeah.
That's funny. I just grew up around the water, so I never even thought about like I love swimming. I'm a good swimmer,
Yeah.
and so I never thought about like what's in the water. Obviously, when you're in the ocean, the number one thing you think about is like don't looking for jellyfish just to make sure there's not a school of jellyfish nearby. But like we never thought about a shark in the ocean. Like
yeah. It's so strange that I mean, have you been following the number of shark bites that are going on? I mean, there's an increase of them. It's very odd. They don't
well,
have
there's an
explanation
increase of stupid people. That's part of it.
I
mean, there's a decrease in natural selection.
Is that the deal?
I would imagine. I mean,
it's the way of the world balancing itself. It's like, okay, let's go for the dummies.
Well, I don't know. I think there's just an increase of people doing more and more stupid things.
Yeah.
There's definitely like 100 years ago, somebody walks in front of a train, they're dying, right? I mean, most likely. Nowadays, medicine and technology might save them.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. We live in a world where I feel like natural selection's been kind of nixed, not completely, but to where it's like, oh, well, okay, you can do stupid things and live. 100 years ago, you couldn't do stupid things and live.
No, it's funny. Yeah.
I mean, it's reality. A lot of people don't like to hear it like that, but the reality of it is we're at a point where our advancements in technology and medicine are so far that we're just like, oh, okay, here, go ahead and jump off a cliff, and like we'll save you.
Right.
It's like, what? Huh.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here. Are we ready?
Yep, I think so.
All right. On this day, August 23rd, 1850, the first U.S. National Women's Rights Convention convenes in Worcester, Massachusetts. 1850. Yeah. That reminds me, I had a good conversation with somebody yesterday about the WNBA and about, the whole conversation about whether they should get paid the same as the NBA players. And a lot of, I mean, I'm a huge fan of women's sports, but I'm also a realist. And the reality of it is with the WNBA, the WNBA is in the red. They make no money. They lose money. The WNBA, they're subsidized by the NBA. And my friend made a really good point. It was at the poker room, and they said the people that if all the people that were complaining about the equal rights for like money wise when it comes to the WNBA and the NBA were going to the WNBA games, then they would make more money. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
People want to complain about it, but they're not. There's no fans going to these games. The people that are complaining about it aren't going to the games because nobody's going to them.
Right.
So it's like it's a subsidized league, which I'm all for women's sports and everything. But at the same time, if it's not making money, it would be like if I had a job or you know what I mean? Like
right. It's not any different than a different sport that is not popular. It's the same.
Yeah, track and field. Track and field athletes, only the top 10 track and field athletes in the world at their discipline make decent money.
Right.
Everybody else struggles.
Right.
And it's like it's because people don't watch it. And
Right.
Whether that's right or wrong or indifferent, it doesn't matter. It has to make money to pay. You know what I mean? Like you can't just make money out of nowhere. And the WNBA operates in the red. I mean, so it's like,
yeah, they just don't have an audience. They don't yet.
Yeah. I wish they did. I mean, there are some WNBA games. It is exciting. I mean, it's getting better and better. There's some really good players, but at the same time, it's got to make money to pay. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just pull money off of trees. I mean,
right.
And the NBA already subsidizes them, so the NBA gives them money, and now and most of the time when you have a business that is failing, losing money, what happens? The business goes away, right?
Well, yeah. Or if you have a grocery store and you have a product that doesn't sell, whatever.
Yeah, you get rid of it. Well, I think the NBA is in a position where they can't do that, because if they did that, then all of a sudden, women's sports don't matter to you. Da 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 da. You know what I mean? And I just wish there was a way that we could figure out a way for the WNBA or for women's sports to make money, and that would be people have to go to the games.
Yeah,
I mean, and then once people start going to the games, they show them on TV, and then advertisers, because that's where a lot of the money comes from. And but right now we're not at that position, and so like I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's one of those touchy subjects where people are like, they get excited about it, and the reality of it is it. I think we do need women's sports, but at the same time, we have to figure out a way for it to make money, because otherwise it's like, I don't know, it's pointless.
Yeah.
1889, the first ship-to-shore wireless message received in the U.S. from light ship number 70 to a coastal receiving station at Cliff House in San Francisco, and the message was "Sherman is sighted." First ship-to-shore wireless message, 1889. Wow. It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
1904, on this day, the automobile tire chain was patented.
Chain. Interesting. Yep. Okay.
1947, on this day, the very first baseball Little League World Series, Williamsport, Pennsylvania, the Maynard Midgets versus the Lock Haven All-Stars, which Midgets is not PC anymore to say.
Right.
It was the name of the team. 2005, Hurricane Katrina formed over the Bahamas, later becoming a Category 5 hurricane. So 2005, on this day, the hurricane that destroyed New Orleans, a lot of the South started over the Bahamas. 2007, on this day, hashtag was invented and first used in a tweet by U.S. product designer Chris Messina. Hashtag invented 2007 on this day. So what's that, 15 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. The number one movie on this day. What year was that? 2002? Yeah, the number one movie on this day 20 years ago was Austin Powers Goldmember. That movie was crazy. And then finally, the quote for the day is a Covey quote. The key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities.
Ooh,
the key is not to prioritize what's on your schedule, but to schedule your priorities. Stephen Covey. You ever read that book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People?
No, I have not.
That's a must read.
I mean, I had the disc series years ago and never did listen to it. So
it's really good. Covey's a pretty smart dude.
Yeah. So
that's all we got.
So Thursday, Jeremy, the CEO, Jeremy Davis from Grand Round Hospital, will be with us to talk about their building project. That should be interesting. So
awesome.
See you then.